Hey everybody, welcome back to Prescription Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm going to figure out what my current favorite available Friday night pour is. What's currently my favorite Friday night pour? I guess there's only one way to find out. Gonna blind these bottles. Alright, I've got these 3 bottles poured already. I've got a Jim Beam single barrel, I've got a Wild Turkey rare breed, and I've got an Old Forester 1920. Now, I've done a few videos in the last couple of years where I kind of use these interchangeably. I Reddit, the only 5 bourbons you need, I did over 2 years ago, and I believe this Old Forester 1920 was my Friday night pour. And I said, you might prefer, Knob Creek single barrel or rare breed over this at that time. So I kind of use it a little interchangeably. I must admit, even though I picked this as my favorite 2 years ago, I know over the last 2 years, this Knob Creek single barrel has definitely become my favorite for some period of time. Rare breed's been a steady contender all along. So, my palate has changed. What do I like right now? I'd really like to know. These are all comparable bottles. They're all about the same price point. They're all that $50 to $60 price point. And they're all close to the same proofs. We've got a 115 proof, a 116.8 proof, and a 120 proof. So it's all within 5 proof points of each other, all within $5 or $10 of each other. So very comparable, all pretty much readily available. In fact, Elijah Craig barrel proof would possibly be a contender on this list, but it's not as readily available. It costs a little more. It's more like $70, $75 or up, and it's proof's a little higher too. It can be between 120 to 130. It's been up above closer to 140 over the years, so it varies around with the batches, whereas these are consistent proof point. I did pick this in my Reddit video as an impress your guest pour. So this would be more like an every once in a while, maybe a monthly, once a month pour, or when your guests come over, pour this for them. These would obviously be great for guests also. But this guy's just a little bit of a step up. And I know I've tasted this with these, and I do prefer this definitely more than these. Not much, but it's a standout. Another thing to note, the Old Foresters and the rare breeds pretty much are just always standard off the shelf. I know Old Forester has released recently some barrel proof Old Forester releases that they used to do their single barrel at 90 proof. They bumped their single barrel releases up to both 100 proof and barrel proof releases. So you might be able to find an Old Forester barrel proof. So that might be a little bit of a off profile thing. And these Knob Creeks, you can definitely find, store picks of these, and this one here, for instance, comes in, it's the same 120 proof, but this guy comes in at, over 11 and a half years old, so close to a 12-year-old bourbon in this. Now I've had this one for a couple years, so you're not going to find these older ones anymore. Most of the store picks now are just that 9-10 year range. But the Knob Creek is the only age-stated one here, so it's 9 years old. Minimum 9 years age-stated. Rare breed's not age-stated, but Wild Turkey says that it's a mix of 6, 8, and 12-year-old barrels. And Old Forester has no age statement on theirs. And Old Forester does heat cycle their warehouses, so their bourbon tends to age quicker. But it's always a good pour. So I've got these glasses mixed up. I'm going to go through, give them a nose, give them a taste, and see what I like right now. I know I like all 3 of these. Can't go wrong with any of them. But do I prefer one over the other? Let's find out. Yeah, glass A. A little bit of a sweet, fruity note on it. Definitely has some oak down in there. But like I say, even though these are all 115, 120 proof, it's not overpowering on the nose. So very pleasant nose. Glass B. All right, a little bit more subdued than glacé. Picking out some vanilla and some oak on it. I do have to go in deeper to get that, and when I do go in deeper, I do get a little bit of the ethanol on that. So, A's, nose definitely seem to be a little bit more vibrant, and the aromas were more forthcoming on it. Class C though, let's take its nose out. All right, probably even less than B. I'm not getting the alcohol when I go in deep though. And I am picking up that same oakiness on it. So, well, I went back and sniffed B a second ago. I might have got a hint of banana on that, but find out. All right, going for a taste on A. Cheers. Oh yeah. Great brown sugar sweetness right up front. Nice viscous mouthfeel on that. Love the way it coated. Definitely had some spice that came around on the top of the tongue. Take another sip. Yeah. Sweet, viscous. It is brown sugar. It is a cinnamon spice on it. There's oak on there too. So, you definitely taste the oak, you taste the cinnamon. Nice warm, just a trickle down your chest warmth. So, delicious sip, delicious sip. All right, let's give B a taste. Cheers. B's even sweeter than A. A little bit more drying. When I say sweeter, it's more just a white sugar, just a sweet, sugary sweetness. It's not the brown sugar that A had. The spice is coming, and it's more on the tongue. It's not just the top of the tongue, but it's all over the tongue. But it's a nice spice level. It's gonna be tough. Delicious sip on that. So, not quite as warm going down, I would say. And that spice, though, is a little bit hotter spice. And it seems to be lingering a little longer, so it's sweeter, spicier, not as warm. So sweetness is different though. Like I say, it's a white sugar sweetness versus a brown sugar sweetness. So give Class C a taste. Cheers. All right, C's a little oakier. It has some sweetness also. In fact, all three of these are sweeter than I normally think of them as being. Spice buildup is probably hitting me now. So this guy seems spicier, and it's all over the tongue. Also, it's not as warm going down, but it's oakier, spicier. Not nearly as sweet as the first two, but definitely has some sweetness. All right, I'll cleanse my palate. I'll go back through and do them again. Keep in mind, these are readily available. We've got a Brown Forman product, which is these are available certainly nationwide, probably around the world. I know for sure Rare Breed is. Wild Turkey product. And we've got a Jim Beam product here in Knob Creek. And I would hope the single barrels are available around the world also. They're certainly available nationwide. So I know all three of these are available nationwide. You know, Wild Turkey did disappear off the shelves a little bit, you know, in the last about a year and a half ago or so during the supply chain thing. I think they had a little bit of a glass shortage issue at Wild Turkey. Unfortunately, as it's come back on the shelves, it has crept up in price a little bit. Yeah, I used to be able to get the Knob Creek and the Wild Turkey for well under $50, about the $45 price range. In fact, Wild Turkey is as little as $40. What's funny is Hope Forster has done the reverse of that. It used to be more expensive than the 1910, and this was the $60 bottle. 1910 was the $50 bottle, and they've kind of flip-flopped. So 1920's actually come down in price. These guys have gone up in price, so these are all like right around the $50 price range now. The days of $40 rare breed seem to be behind us, unfortunately. And the Knob Creeks, what's great about those is those store picks don't seem to add too much to the price. Obviously, the store can charge whatever they want, but they typically sell them for about the same price as the normal, you know, off the shelf single barrels. So, yeah, sometimes I quite often see it for only a few dollars more, you know, $3 to $5 more. So those can be very interesting, but just some great selections here. All right, back to Glass C. Nice nose. Glass C. Cheers. That spice is coming. The sweetness was there. Didn't seem to be as sweet as these two, as I said in the first pass. But spice doesn't hit you at first either. I think it's more oaky. The spice does come. It's hitting now, and it is on the tongue and lingers. But was hoping this would hit a little better than that on the second pass, but just from what I remember from the first pass, I think this guy's falling behind these two for sure. So back to Glass B. Definitely sweeter than C. Unless that spice is coming, it's not spicier than C. Definitely a little bit of banana on the nose. But the spice is there. It does linger. I think this has the longest finish. It's got that sweet. It's got that oak. It's got the spice. So very nice. So yeah, I'm putting B a hair above C at the moment, and back to Glass A. Wow. Yeah. This is the jam right here. That brown sugar sweetness. That spiciness. The mouth coating. I think this has everything going for it. I think this had a stronger nose than those two. It's got more pronounced taste with that brown sugar sweetness, that cinnamon spice. A little less oaky than those two. So I think without a doubt, A is currently the one I prefer here. So as I've said over the last 2 years, I've flip-flopped on these. I've drank a lot of these three. Drank a lot of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. These are cheaper, easier to come by. So I definitely drink more of these. And I've always thought them very comparable to each other. Still do. I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs here, but nice. Glass C, Glass A. Delicious. All right, let's see what we have. But I've got these ranked, CBA, A the winner. It's, C in third place. Can't go wrong with any of these, like I said. definitely curious to see what my taste currently, how my taste currently sits. So Class C is the rare breed. So this guy has, always been a favorite of mine. It's I've probably drank more rare breed and Knob Creek than the Old Forester. So, and that may be because the Old Forester used to be more expensive, and I used to drink more of these because they were cheaper. Like I say, that's changed though. They're all right at the same price now. So, and rare breed was hard to find there for a while. So I think I had actually, started not drinking it as much, just keeping my stocks going. But this guy, super nice, but unfortunately, like I say, splitting hairs, it's third place today. Class B comes in second, and this is the Old Forester. No surprise there. That banana gives that guy away. It's funny. The banana. Once you pick up on that banana, it's easy to find. I think the first time I ever did pull it out of something was actually a Woodford Reserve. It was very faint. And then some Jack Daniel's barrel proofs is where it really hit me. Banana bread, strong banana, and Jack Daniel's barrel proofs still tend to do that. I don't think these Old Foresters have always been that way, and might be wrong. I know they had a label change a while back. This is the new label with the more formal looking with the gold around it, and whereas they used to have like what looked like a stamp on there that said Prohibition style across. I think when they changed the label, some people I might have saw some reviews where some people thought that the liquid inside changed a little bit. At the time, I didn't think so, but I don't think I have any of the old bottles to go back and test against. But I do think maybe it did change. I don't think I used to get the banana on that, but that may just be me personally that I didn't used to get banana, and now it's something I can pull out easier. So very interesting. But Class A is the Knob Creek. Boy, this guy stands a little taller than these two. It really does. It's the only age-stated one. 9 years old. There's probably some older liquid in here. This guy's the strongest proof though too. You got to take that. But this is the only single barrel. So single barrels always vary a little bit. But I did go with an off-the-shelf single barrel. So those typically are picked by the distillery themselves, and they usually are on profile. So whereas the store picks single barrels, they can definitely be off profile. Some stores look for that off profile store pick and all that. So this is a regular shelfer, single barrel. The viscosity, the mouth coating on this beats these two. The brown sugariness on this guy beats these two. The nose was stronger than those two. So, I mean, it's almost like this guy checked all the boxes and just beat these hands down. It really wasn't close when you look at it that way. Delicious. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to me. Really appreciate that. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think of these. If you prefer the 1920 or the rare breed or the Knob Creek single barrel, obviously the Light Creek barrel proof, if you like that better, let me know that too. But I think I do also on that. Maybe I should do another video with this guy up against that. Some very good bourbons here. Just delicious whiskey. You can't go wrong with any of them. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Remember, everybody, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. And the best bourbon comes from Kentucky. Cheers.